Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to Backfire Simsport TV. I'm Clyde Whiting, and tonight we have for you round 8 of the BSTV GT4 TCR Challenge, live from the magnificent Imola circuit. In the booth with me tonight, I have Mr. Ryan Walker. Good evening.
Good evening, Clive. Good evening, everyone. It's good to be here at one of my favourite tracks at Imola, and I think tonight will be a great race.
Yeah, I think it will. On the cameras, doing the magic in the background, is Mr. Sam Boozin.
Good evening, Clyde, Ryan, everyone watching.
Obviously, Princess Pete is driving tonight, and Bill Switzel should hopefully be joining us later. So, Ryan, let's just have a quick look. So, last time out, Tyler Newitt took the win in GT4s. Tom Stanley got back to winning ways in TCRs. Now, you say, this is one of your favourite tracks. I must admit, I'm not really. It's a bit meh for me. It's sort of loud pedal chicane for me. Why do you like it so much?
It's just got it's one of those tracks with tradition. I mean, in real life, it hosts the Formula 1 Grand Prix, and I can't say I do like the track, but I've kind of went off it at the same time, just because I preferred it when it was the old F1 layout, when it had that final chicane. But ever since they've touched the track and they took that final chicane away, it's just, like I say, don't dislike it, but it doesn't have that same appeal to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it certainly does. Formula One do have a way of getting their own way, don't they, and ruining tracks sometimes. Just evening to Stacey on the chat and Alan Toon. Alan is our new post-race reporter. So you'll be able to get a post-race rundown on Alan's website that we'll get links for you all. And obviously on our website as well as the VRA website. So we'll be all over the place. Getting back to the track, Ryan, sorry, I do wander off sometimes. Now, there are some nasty bits on this track, aren't there? There's them funny little rubbery black and yellow, like sleeping policeman things that tend to make your car go off like a landmine if you hit one.
Yeah, absolutely. It's you've got to be very careful there. I mean, you can take a bit of curb around this track with the anti-cuts, but if you take too much, it can damage the car, and it can also possibly end your race. So these drivers are going to have to be very careful when it comes to pushing the limits and not taking too much.
Yeah, and we're just in qualifying at the moment. We're only 3.5 minutes into the 20-minute session. Just for everybody at home, Princess Pete had his princess car last week, and he's pretty much begged me to do paints for him with all the companies that he uses regularly, just to give them a bit of advertising. So I'm sure Sam will focus on him very, very shortly, and you'll see Pete's first choice for his paint. And keep an eye out, because he will have a different paint every week. So there he is in his fabulous Anasol livery. Ryan, yeah, let's get back to the serious stuff. Last week, I just told you who won, and now I forgot. Tyler Newitt, 2 on the trot. Can he make it 3 on the trot?
It's a good possibility. I mean, he's a really quick driver, as Tyler, as we've saw in the Euro V8 Supercar League, and as we see him on the stream right now on the webcam. So yeah, hopefully he gives us a bit of a wave. But yeah, Tyler, I think he's got a good chance of making it 3 out of 3, and he's going to be one to keep an eye out is putting some work into that wheel.
Yeah, he certainly is, isn't he? I always say that you can't bet against Andrew Hopley. I know you wasn't with us last season, but he won nearly every race. But Kevin Veermont and Romain Ratu, or Double R as we call him. Now, Kevin won the TCR championship last season, moved over to the GT4s. And I think they started off with some really, really good pace. But somewhere, I don't quite know where, but somewhere along the line, things have gone a little bit awry for them. Now, knowing the way that those two guys drive, I think at some point they're going to be up there. You've got Stuart Dick, who's always quick, probably Mr. Unlucky, but always very, very quick. Paul Burgess has had some really, really good results. Greg Vranks must be learning a lot from his teammate Andrew Hopley. And AAA as well is another one that can be up there. So, we'll talk about TCRs in a minute, but the GT4 field is wide open for anybody to win races, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. In the series, like you say, you've got the likes of Stuart Dick. I'm looking in the wrong class. But yeah, basically just you've got the quick drivers that are normally up at the front, but also from time to time with these races having a pit stop and also a safety car, it can throw a spanner in the works. So you can normally see drivers up at the front that are maybe not at the front as much and just getting a chance to shine.
Yeah, and TCR class. So we've seen Tom Stanley and almost Chris Shaw be the cream of the crop, shall we say? I think Tom's done all the races bar one, and he's won them all. Apart from one where I think he finished second to Chris. Chris is normally second behind him. But Carl Hardy, Scott Malcolm, David Ayres, I know they put in a hell of a lot of practice. And they're always capable of a good result. Then we've got, obviously, Princess Pete, who is new to the car, learning it. I'm sure he'll get quicker. And he's dragged Craig Gary, as I call him, into the championship as well. And when Gary is on it, Gary is on it. He is a quick driver. He was almost up at, I think, about 3,000 iRating, and then had a bit of a hiatus from iRacing. Came back and sort of dumped a load of iRacing. But again, Tom and Chris aside, you would always bet on those two, Ryan, to finish first and second if there aren't any problems. But the third step of the podium is pretty much open to the rest of the field.
Yeah, absolutely it is. I mean, you've got the likes of Carl Hardy, you've got David Ayres, who I recognise from the BSR MX5 series from racing in it ages ago. But also you've got Roger Morton as well. So you've got a few names that can be right up there battling for the final step on the podium. So and maybe don't get as much, not in a bad way, but they don't seem to get as much airtime or the results that they should get.
Yeah, that's very true. Like I say, especially Stuart. Stuart has been so unlucky. I think if there's going to be an incident, if somebody's going to have an incident, it usually ends up taking Stuart somehow with them. But we've got the the possibility of a random safety car, and we've seen that change things no end. We've seen people get caught out by the safety car and end up a lap down. We saw Andrew Hopley and a few others not pit under the safety car, and that sort of, especially stopped Andrew from from winning. So, you know, if we are to have a random safety car tonight, that's another factor that can juggle things up, as well as the track, because, as I said before, it's loud pedal chicane, loud pedal chicane. It does, would you agree, it encourages dive bombing?
Yeah, I think it does, just because of the high speed nature of the track, and you're going so quick. And if you get that temptation to make a move on someone, especially up into that chicane just after the uphill section in the middle sector, and just sometimes people try and maybe lunge and try and make a move and catch people out, but around the Imola, that most of the time it can end up in disaster.
Yeah, and you see, you know, you see a lot of people with you know, doing a late lunge, and then the cars end up trying to go through the chicane side by side. Not saying it can't be done, but you have to have two very switched on, trusting drivers to get away with that, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely, you do. It's if you want to try and make a move around here, it kind of requires a bit of cooperation between both drivers. One driver to make a safe move, but the other driver to leave some room if someone's alongside you. So it's a bit of it's difficult to make a move around here sometimes, just because, like I say, you've got just because it's such a high speed track in some sections, but also with the two classes on the same track and the speed difference, it'll be a bit difficult tonight, I think.
Yeah, and you know, there is an immense tow round here if you can get it, so that may help facilitate overtakes, or it might help facilitate a few crashes with some dive bombs. We'll have to wait and see.
Good evening, gentlemen.
With you in 2 minutes, Bill.
Great.
12 minutes into qualifying now, so let's give you a first quick rundown of the top three in each class. Currently, Andrew Hopley leads the way in GT4, AAA in second, and Kevin Vimont in third. In TCR, Chris Shaw leads the way with Tom Stanley in second and Carl Hardy in third. So you just heard his voice. Good evening, Bill, and welcome to the booth.
Thank you very much. Good evening to you guys.
And Imola, 60-minute race, enforced pit stop, possible random safety car. What do you think is going to happen, Bill?
Sounds like a mixed bag to me. This is a great track. I think these cars will perform very well here, and I think we'll have a really good show. You know, the usual players possibly could stand out, but we may get a Roman Ratu or a Stuart Dick in the GT4s, and possibly you know, a David Ayres or somebody else in the TCR. So it remains to be seen, but it'll be a good one. This is a beautiful track.
Yeah, well, since the last update, Craig Gary has just popped into third position.
Well, look at him go,
TCRs. Huh? So there's a new name to the championship and a new name in the top three at the moment. Evening to Olivier on the chat. Olivier usually joins us. He's following Double R and Kevin Vimont. So, Ryan, we touched on tow a minute ago. Now, I'm not quite sure how big the draft is with these GT4 and TCR cars. You know, we usually see the TCRs going around in an angry, buzzing pack, and the GT4s can get a little bit spread out. But will that tow, do you think that tow will keep everybody that a little bit closer together?
I think it will in the early stages of the race, and then maybe after the pit stops, the field might spread out a little bit. But yeah, definitely with these TCR cars, the tow can help around the tracks with the long straights. But most of the time, it's kind of just a matter of keeping out of trouble with these cars, I find.
Yeah, I'm wondering, Bill, do you reckon the TCRs might top out in the tow, and therefore sort of, you know, negate their chance of overtaking?
That's a really good question. I was just, when you were talking about toe, I was thinking front straightaway here is pretty long, and if you enter it from the corner before really well, you can really wind it up and get to the top. So that's a good question. I really don't know. I think it's a possibility in the toe, definitely.
Well, I'm sure at some point Sam will get us on board during the race with the TCR, and we can find out firsthand. Evening to Martin on the chat. Martin, last I heard, was busy putting his pedals together. He's got a wheel, and will be joining iRacing soon, and hopefully joining us soon as well. And then we'll see where Stacey's loyalties lie. Will she cheer for Martin, or will she still cheer for somebody else? Right, where are we? So we're coming up to 16 minutes in at the moment. No change in GT4. So it's still Hopley, Al Amri, Viamont. And in TCR, it's Shaw, Stanley, and Gary. And Princess Pete is not last. So definitely something going on there.
Yeah, well, I think him and Pete have a little rivalry when they race together, so it makes Pete try a little bit harder.
Well, I spoke to Gary in the week, and we were saying that Pete last week basically poodled round, stayed out of trouble, made sure he finished. This week he's got some rivalry. He's got his good friend racing. They're also teammates in this, so it's always nice to beat your teammate. This could be the week that Pete starts getting back to normal Pete and crashing. We'll have to wait and see. So what we got now? We've got just under 3 minutes. Still nothing changing. Still plenty of cars out on the track.
It appears that Chris Shaw is ready to face off today. He's remained in that top group. Usually Tom Stanley hovers in that area. I mean, he's second, not very far behind, but Chris Shaw is really putting it to it today so far.
Yeah, I wonder whether these two will have their normal race, Ryan, where we see them sort of disappear in front of the other TCRs and just have a blinding battle amongst those two for the rest of the race.
I think so. I think if they get away and have a good start, they might be able to pull away and build up a bit of a gap. But with this track having some straights as well, I think maybe the toe could play a factor and maybe help the people behind keep up with them.
Yeah, I think what happens in the TCR field, and I could be wrong, but I think what happens is Chris Shaw and Tom Stanley get away because the rest of the pack are so close and they battle each other, and that allows Chris and Tom to get away.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, the little door-to-door stuff in the beginning, and when you're back in the pack, definitely is a disadvantage, especially if you have two guys that belong up front that can really go fast. And, once they get out in front, it's going to be tough to reel them in.
And Scott Malcolm has just popped himself in provisional third in TCR.
Goodness. Well, that's not the usual Scott Malcolm. He usually hangs around down near the bottom there someplace.
Yeah, I think Scott was really, really fed up after last week. Some of the comments that he put on the chat, he was... I don't know if he was thinking about giving up, but he's getting very angry with himself for making first lap mistakes, which we all do. But glad to see him back this week. Glad to see him running well, and let's hope his first couple of laps go well. Scott will incidentally be joining me racing in VRA GTCC. We've formed a little hopeless team between us called BSTV Forza Haggis.
I like that.
So, yeah, you'll be able to see us plodding round the back in the GT3s.
Now you're going to be a driver reporter also?
Yes, I will be available to be dragged in whenever. Evening to Ronald Moons on the chat.
Hello, Ronald. One of our
Okay.
old-time race buddies from way back.
Checkers are out. Just waiting for a few cars that are on track to finish their laps.
Well, AAA has moved up to second place in the qualifying, I see, ahead of Kevin Viamont.
Well, the crowd on my screen have just gone wild for some reason. It must be Pete's paint.
Which ones he got this week? The Tika one?
Anusol.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, so that is everybody has finished their laps. We'll just wait for the session to click over. And then we'll run you through our starting grid for this 60-minute race.
I noticed in the chat Pete made a comment about that the painter is dead to him now, so oh well.
Well, yeah. I've had worse. It is good fun being in charge of the paint packs because you can make any car look however you want it to look.
Yeah, you can. So they have to stay in your good graces, otherwise they never know what they're going to end up with.
Exactly.
Yep.
Anybody that annoys me gets a target on the back of their car. I don't know if anybody else is getting this with the sounds, but the crowd keep going wild.
I don't have any of those at all. I don't know why. I don't know why I like racing. I really don't like a lot of noise, so I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, Marco Namela sussed it out. The big screen is showing Pete in his princess dress.
Up on the big board, huh? Yeah, okay. Okay, there's our starting lineup.
Go on then, Bill. Do the GT4
Okay,
and I'll do the TCRs.
All right, on the pole and TCR in GT4, we've got Andrew Hopley, H Motorsport. Second, AAA Abdul Al Amri and Asymmetric GT4. Third is Kevin Viamont, Mika Esports. Fourth, Roman Ratau, Mika Esports. And fifth is Tyler Newitt, XVR Sim Racing. Sixth, Stuart Dick, Asymmetric GT4. Seventh, Paul Burgess, Ninth Light Racing. Eighth, Gregory Vranks, H Motorsports. Ninth, Stephen Goebel, VTS Germany. 10th, Yaz Samai, Ninth, Light Racing. 11th, Rob Venn, BSTV Esports. 12th, Simon Chester, Northern Lights Racing. And over to you for the DCRs.
Okay, so we've got Chris Shaw, Ascari Autosport on pole. Tom Stanley, Asymmetric TCR second. Scott Malcolm, Work Guide by result in third. In fourth, we've got Roger Morton. Well done, Roger. Safeguard by result. Gary Craig is in fifth. BSTV Team Wiobi. David Ayres in sixth for result clothing. Carl Hardy in seventh for the result clothing. Princess Pete is in eighth for BSTV Team Wiobi. And Mark Heron rounds out your field for Asymmetric TCR.
Okay, they're on their pace lap. Oh, they don't have to go very far either. Okay, good.
No, it's fairly short, this one, isn't it? And I have a feeling they might go early.
Once that pace car leaves, anything's possible, I guess.
He's gone. He's gone.
Boy, what a nice start Andrew Hopley got. Wow.
Oh, I thought I was
Well,
three
almost.
wide behind
Yeah.
them.
Wow.
Triple A, is he? No, I thought he was going to get meeked, but he didn't.
Now, I think,
TCRs are gone. Oh,
As David
Whoa,
Ayres
look
off.
out.
Ayres.
Look out,
Yeah,
look out.
David Ayres.
Whoa, man.
Whoa, hold it, baby.
Good avoidance there from those guys.
So Princess Pete lost a position off the start to Mark Heron, but he's got one back there. Although he's under pressure. Under pressure.
Whoa, hang on to it, Pete.
Yeah, I think Pete just decided not to make a fight of that and just decided to, just decide to let that position go.
Yeah. Well, Scott Malcolm has stayed with Stuart Dick and Chris Shaw.
Yeah, it's it's early days, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
We've sort of seen that before. They just managed to eke out a little gap.
And now
Scott
Roger
should be
Moore can get up
okay,
behind him.
shouldn't he? Yeah, if he can keep that gap over Roger, so he's not looking backwards. Oh, here we go, Tom Stanley. Having a look around the outside. He's going the long way round.
Wow, nice photo shot that is. Nice camera angle.
Yes, Scott Malcolm's closing up as well.
Look at
He's
this.
the bravest. Yeah. Good move. Good move.
Tom Stanley says, I'm not backing out no matter what. Scott Malcolm right on the back of Chris Shaw at the moment. Roger Morton's closing in pretty well as well in fourth. Good battle right there.
Whoa, steady. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, it looks like Malcolm and his teammate Morton have gone at it as well. I'm quite surprised by that. I thought they would have been trying to work together.
Yeah, Scott's in that tricky position, isn't he, where he's playing offence and defence at the same time.
And Gary Craig and Carl Hardy right behind him a little bit. Gary Craig goes a little wide there.
Okay, so what's happened to Princess Pete? He's a long way behind the back now. Oh, he's had an off track somewhere.
Yeah, has to. He's 3 seconds behind David Ayres. That's a lot.
Whoa, hold it, baby. Let's have a look. All on his own, no pressure.
Oh, too wide. Yeah, that's too bad.
It's carried too much speed in.
Sure did. Well, you know the feel. Well, you don't, Clyde, because you're a pretty good driver. But I know the feeling when they start getting away, you start pushing on the pedal harder, and that doesn't necessarily help you.
No, that's right. You try harder and go slower.
Yep. Whoa! Look at that. Ooh, nice pass.
That's Carl Hardy.
Mark Aaron went zipping right by him.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised that Tom Stanley and Chris Shaw have not pulled away. I thought they would have pulled away and built up a bit of a gap, but yeah, it seems to be the tow seems to be keeping the rest of the field close together.
Yeah, and Scott is obviously having the drive of his life, and you know, no disrespect, but we're not used to seeing Roger Morton up there, but he's holding his own at the moment.
You know, a lot of these guys are working hard and practicing. I mean, Carl Hardy and some of the other guys are putting up practice time, and they're working together. And, you know, everybody gets better when you start doing that. If you start kind of going back and forth together in a practice, that helps out a lot.
Oh, that was wide.
Yeah.
Double R.
Yep.
I can't
There's
remember what this track is like for off tracks and slowdowns.
I'll tell you, the one place I know, these guys are past it now, but when you come down that hill and you go do that little right and left and start up that hill to this section, there, if you go too tight on the inside, you get a slow down there. I know. I've tried to.
Whoa! He's gone again. As long as we get all of Pete's accidents tonight, I'll be happy.
Oh baby! Oh yeah.
He's still got a clean car.
Yeah, he does.
Well, looks like this battle for P6 is getting close.
Yes, it is. Mark Heron on the outside. Carl Hardy and David Ayers.
Yeah, just in front, Gary. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Whoa.
Whoa. Wow.
Well done, lads.
Yeah,
well done.
really. That was clean. Wow.
I was just going to say in front, Gary Craig is on the back of Roger Morton as well. So
looks like Tyler Newitt's making his move.
Yeah, top 6 in GT4 are exactly as they started.
Tyler's trying to get close to Double R there. Stuart Dick right behind him.
Literally flying over those curves.
Wow.
Yeah, I was about to say they're getting some airtime over the curves.
Yeah, they look like all 4 wheels off.
Tom Stanley really had that thing out flat that time, sideways, coming up that. That's a nice camber angle. That's a beauty. I've never driven a TCR, but it looks very much like a momentum car, really.
Yeah,
it is, isn't it? No, go on, mate. You probably know more about it than me.
I was just going to say, I have to agree. It's one of those cars that you kind of you want to like basically wring the neck out of it sometimes, but it's one of those cars you've got to have a lot of patience with, especially getting on the power, and with it being front wheel drive, if you try and get on the power too soon, and you just spin the wheels up, and you just end up getting like big time understeer.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, what happened to Stefan there? Did he get a slowdown?
I don't know. He went out the outside.
No, just went wide, yeah.
Whoa!
Whoa, baby.
Well, I'll tell you, caught it pretty well, considering. Scott's really closing in on Chris Shaw. Scott Malcolm.
Yeah, I was quite surprised by that because Scott fell back a little bit, but he's managed to claw that gap back. So yeah, fair play to Scott.
Yeah, and he's dropped Roger as well, hasn't he?
Yep.
What's happened here?
It looks like Stuart's got a
slowdown.
Yeah. Hate when that happens. way, as Ryan mentioned, Tom Stanley's not exactly running away from the crowd, is he, right now?
No, these two, every time they're on track together, they are this close. And they can be in either order. Don't think the TCR quite topped out there.
Not sure. Just looking out the back of Chris Shaw's car at Scott Malcolm.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with Scott at the moment, and Roger.
They're both doing a great job.
And just looking at his top four in TCR, they've managed to pull away from the rest of the pack as well, by the looks of it. So it looks like they're working together at the moment.
Yeah, Gary Craig was right on the back bumper of Roger Morton, but he's dropped off a little bit.
We'll look at the battle for third place in GT4 as well, and also look at AAA and in his element.
Yeah, it is good to watch AAA. He does. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. You'll see him bang things if he, makes a mistake. You'll see him celebrating when he wins. Always good to see. Evening to Alan on the chat. Sorry.
It also appears that he has a coach right over his shoulder there too tonight, or a spotter or whoever that is. Isn't that somebody behind him, or what is it? Oh, no, that's his headdress. I'm sorry. That looks like a person leaning over.
I looked at that and I thought, oh, yeah, that's somebody's knees. And then I thought, no, it's not. It's his seat.
Thought maybe it was Stuart Dick, but he's in this, so, I could tell by the shine on the top of his head. No offense, Stuart.
He's AAA's getting a lot of attention from Kevin Veermont.
Woo, kind of wide there too.
Yeah, I've got to say as well, I do like watching the other drivers' perspective or point of views, because it's interesting to watch what they get up to and how they drive and that sort of thing. Like some people you'll see get frustrated all the time and start getting a bit not rage quitting, but kind of just rage or frustrate for no reason. But other drivers seem to be pretty relaxed.
Yeah, see, with me, I'm usually laughing at myself, scratching my testicles, anything apart from racing, to be honest.
That's really too much information.
Whoa!
Who's that? Is there Gary Craig way out there? Yeah.
That is, yeah. So Gary's dropped right down in the clutches, hasn't he?
Carl Hardy just got by him.
Yeah. Considering he was up behind Roger Morton.
Now he's got Mark Heron behind him.
Just for the viewers, Princess Pete is in the race. He's just in a bit of a time warp at the moment.
I think he's praying for a safety car.
Yeah, well, we've got just over a minute until the safety car period, or the safety car danger period starts.
Yeah, it's always like Chris Shaw's got the run on Tom Stanley, but he's not making a move at the moment. So I'm interested to see if Chris is maybe possibly fuel saving.
Yeah, it could be. It's fascinating me, that TCR battle where, you've got four cars together, then they split into two lots of two, then they're all together again.
Now I'm really wondering here if AAA is the cork in the bottle, because Andrew Hopley's pulled out his typical 4-second lead at the moment.
Yeah, I was literally just about to say that, because It was those two, and then a gap to Double R, then a gap to Tyler.
That's right.
They're now all together, and you can see Greg Branks and Stuart Dick in the
Yep,
background.
not very far away.
I don't know whether Greg just got a slowdown. I think he did.
He might have. Stewart went by him pretty easily. There.
Yeah.
That was a good point that Mark O'Malley mentioned on the chat earlier. The Porsche seems to be struggling on the straight. So yeah, I think that's the only reason that AAA is staying in front of this train at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. We know the grunt of the BMW. Didn't think this would be a Porsche track. I think for the Porsche drivers, they've got to carry the speed through the chicane, haven't they, and out the other side. Whoa, Scott! Right, don't. Whoa!
Oh goodness!
Gary Craig.
I wonder if Scott gives him a
get out of the
good
way.
work.
What happened there? So Scott's spinning. And Gary Craig has done pretty much exactly the same thing.
Yeah, maybe both of them are looking for the bar. Or maybe
Stuart Dick. Is there some oil on the track or something?
Something. Just got his rear wheel off a little bit there.
A little bit too much speed in the first part of the corner.
Now see Tyler Newitt kind of on the back of Double R there. Just waiting patiently for an opening.
Yeah, I was just wondering whether Tyler's going to have the same trouble with Double R as Kevin is with AAA.
Could be.
Or does being at the back of those four, will that help him? Will that give him an extra toe?
See, it seems like that part of the track, they don't have the grunt to get by these guys, really.
Evening to my daughter that's joined us on the chat.
Hey, Sophie. Hope you're feeling well.
Whoa.
Uh-oh. There's what Kevin Viemont was looking for. But
yeah, but the grunt of the BMW.
He's thundering up that hill, yep. Pretty steep climb right there, too.
Yeah, I think Kevin was thinking when AAA out-dragged him up the hill, he's probably thinking to himself, was it Sacre Bleu?
Oh, yeah, no kidding. Got that right.
Okay, so Princess Pete has pitted. Scott Malcolm is in the pits as well. Still no sign of a safety car.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I wonder if they've got a sneaky feeling that the safety car might come out soon, so they've just decided to dive into the pits and try and not lose too much time.
Ronald, of course you can.
Or Daddy.
I like Daddy, yeah.
Ronald, please don't encourage him, okay?
Yeah, since everyone else is joining in, I'll call you that as well, but instead I'll call you Sugar Daddy.
There's Princess Pete coming out the pits.
Well, you know, Clyde, they call you Daddy. You know what that means I am? Grandpa.
Yeah, you can call me the uncle if you want.
Look at this.
Yeah. It's all right.
Wow.
It's just the more people that call me Daddy, the more people are going to have to wipe my bottom when I'm old and infirm.
No, thank you. There's Marco Loert's in the chat as well. Hello, Marco.
Yeah, hello, Marco. Good evening.
Marco, hi.
Or as the Germans like to say, Guten Tag.
I was about to say, we already got you in the booth, Clyde. It's enough. We'll not call you daddy.
The director speaketh.
Who's your daddy? Come on, Kevin.
Whoa! Oh, I think they just came together.
Oh, sacre bleu.
That got by them, but I think they did a side to side.
Yeah, any chance we could see that? There we go.
Oh, this is going to be
no.
close. And it's still oh, a bit of contact.
Oh!
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen.
That's too bad.
I think, for first glance of that, I think Abdul. Oh, he's quit.
Oh, that's not a good sign. Is he looking at the replay now to see what happened? And it looks like.
Did he hang it up? Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa. Well, I really don't. I think that was a racing deal.
I'd like to see that from the overhead.
Yeah, I'm trying to see who that was. I don't think that was Kevin because he got in front. I think it was.
No, it was Double R.
Double R, yeah. I think I don't like to forcing the blame on anyone, but I think he was sticking his nose in where there wasn't
was
space.
Still a bit behind.
Yep.
You're right. He should have kind of backed out of it, probably. But as a racing driver, do you want to back out? Hell no.
Yeah, that's the thing. Racing, that's a racing driver mentality.
Huh? Yep.
As I looked at Rob then as well, but he's actually having a good racing eighth at the moment, but he's got a bit of a trend starting to form behind him.
So yeah, Samai looking at Simon Chester there.
And just to let Marco Loert know, yep, I am Scottish. So I apologise for my accent if you can't understand it. It's some people seem to have trouble with it and other people don't. But it's just a typical Scottish thing that we like to speak a bit quickly, which I need to work on.
I can understand you better than I can Sam, so...
I'm saying nothing.
Everyone will get what I want to say to you, Clyde. But I can't tell it on the broadcast.
What was that?
Sam tries to keep it a family show. You don't, so there's a difference.
Trying to keep it as a family show when showing the back of Pete's car is not the best idea.
Yeah, really.
It's only some hemorrhoids.
Oh dear.
Anyway, so in the meantime, Gary Craig has pitted. Still no sign of a safety car. Still Tom Stanley and Chris Shaw glued to each other.
No rest for these two guys.
No, and I must admit, if I'm in a battle like this, sometimes, you just really enjoy it because it's just super intense and the race is, seems like it's over in 5 minutes. And other times you're like, Jesus, man, just give me a break, will you?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the truth. Yeah.
See, I don't mind sometimes. Excuse me. I don't mind someone putting me under pressure or trying to get by me. I find, in a way, it keeps me focused. Because I find sometimes being on my own, I kind of lose concentration a little bit. As looking at the battle in GT4 for 10th position between Savai and Stefan.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm a lot better being the hunter rather than the hunted. I think the trouble is when I'm being hunted, I spend too much time looking behind me and not what's going on in front.
I think that's a natural reaction, though, really. It's a hard thing to avoid.
Yeah, I find I used to look at my relative too much, and I find like in the sprint races in the Euro V8 League, for example, if I turn my relative off, I seem to focus a lot more and just focus on front of me, and yeah, I seem to do a lot better.
Another good battle here, guys, in TCR. David Ayres and Mark Heron.
Mark Heron, that's a good one. And Scott Malcolm's trying to pass Pete. It looks like he's done it.
Yeah, as the Princess tries to come back, but he can't do anything.
Yeah,
about
he carried good speed through there, didn't he?
He sure did.
Yeah. Maybe Pete's fan can come back. I want to offer you some Enersol products.
Yeah. So first two of the GT4 have pitted, Stuart Dick and Yaz Samai. Right on cue, there's Stuart Dick. He's out right behind that TCR lead battle, which is obviously not the best place to be.
Nah, not going to be the easiest group to pass either. Look at that. Boy, are they close together. What an excellent joust they're having.
Yeah, credit to Chris as well for not doing anything silly. I guess at times he's getting tempted, or he's got the urge to make a lunge up the inside, but instead he's just staying behind and just maybe staying where they are at the moment, just waiting until the pit stops and just try and feel safe to stretch out as long as possible.
Leaders in. Well, first four are in. First five are in. Looks like Paul Burgess has stayed out. Just going back to Chris Shaw there, this is obviously our second season, Chris's second season in this, and he also runs in the VRA GTCC, and he's probably one of the most patient and sensible drivers I've seen.
Yeah, and he's very speedy too.
Yeah, and he'll probably punt Tom Stanley out of the way now I've said that, but
oh shit, Dick's going up the inside to that.
Stuart.
Whoa. That was a bit sketchy.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's going to give Tom a little. Well, is it going to give him any respite, or is? Did they both go in? They did.
Yeah.
Simon Chester's in as well in GT4.
And Tyler Newick is had a double R.
Yeah, so at the moment, GT4s, Paul Burgess, Stefan Goebel, Stefan Goebel, Rob Venn haven't been in. And TCR's top three, Carl Hardy, David Ayres, Roger Morton haven't been in. Wide there from Rob.
And Stefan Goebel was really taking a long look too when he did that. Kevin Viamont likes those flashy lights, I'll tell you. Boy, oh boy.
Ooh, that was a bit close in the middle of the chicane.
Sure was.
Yeah, well, Stefan doesn't have to let him go.
Absolutely not.
It is for position, even though Stefan hasn't pitted. Oh, Tyler putting a move on double R.
He's got him.
Yeah, that was a nice move.
It really was.
As a Stefan dives in, that goes into the pits in front of him.
Somebody just went in, didn't they?
Yeah, Stefan, yeah.
Stefan Goebel? Okay. Oh, now there's a Porsche passing one of the BMWs on the straight. There you go. Kevin Viamont must be wringing the neck out of that car right now.
I think he does every week, doesn't he?
Yeah, I do too. And the Stanley and Shaw show still working out.
Rob Vin gets out of the way, lets people through.
Yeah,
Rob's not
probably a
pitted
good,
yet.
probably a good move, Rob.
Whoa!
Who's that?
Well,
Princess Pete.
Yeah, he's been in, well, not been in the wars, but he's
What
had a
the heck
few moments
happened there?
tonight.
Oh, the super slow-mo. Princess Pete touching the
Eyes off the
grass.
side, yep.
Scott Malcolm's looking in his mirror going, what are you doing?
This is not a drifting course, Princess.
Get your foot down, Pete. Not on the brakes.
I was about to say, I wonder if a bit of aerosol product leaked out the back and slipped. I'm sorry, Pete.
Don't worry, Ryan. We are not sorry.
Actually, since you said that, Sam, I take it back.
So we are halfway through. Still no safety car, but there's another 15 minutes of the potential safety car left.
Double R looking again at Tyler. Sorry, excuse me, Clyde.
No, that's all right. Paul Burgess currently leads GT4, but he hasn't pitted. I think Roman's got that done, hasn't he? Yeah. Just that BMW grunt.
Knowing Tyler the way we do, he'll press on.
Yeah, he's not letting it go that easy.
Well, Tyler's a clever little driver.
See, the Porsche can just carry the speed, can't it, through the
It goes a lot,
chicanes?
it seems to go a lot better through those corners, doesn't it?
But then the BMW just grunts its way out.
Now they go up the hill. That's a little... See, he pulls out a little bit there.
So I don't think there's much in it under braking. It's literally just the speed that the Porsche can carry through the corner.
Yeah. It certainly appears that way. Uh-oh, look at this. Got a battle for the lead. Looks like Chris Shaw is going to take over for a while.
Yeah, Chris Shaw making the move and managed to get it done. So yeah, he managed to get the car stopped and get the move done. So yeah, good move by Chris.
It was an excellent pass. You are indeed correct.
As Nikolai Bogatayev's in the chat as well. Good evening, Nikolai.
Here's a look at it again.
Yeah, just used the toe, didn't he?
Yep. He's got the inside line.
Yeah.
I think Tom backed out a little bit too, I believe.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Again, Tom is another sensible driver.
Oh, yeah.
He's on the outside, you know. Yes, you can try and stick round the outside on the first part of the chicane to get the inside coming out of the chicane, but it's risk and reward.
Yeah, and also you know, you're probably going to end up second anyway, even if you make that pass, and it's better to do it than with a straight car than a crumpled car. So a pretty good move on Tom's part.
So Rob Venn is in, so it's just the leader Paul Burgess in GT4 that hasn't pitted. Roger Morton has just come in. So we've got Carl Hardy and David Ayres currently leading TCR, but both have not pitted. There goes Tyler again.
Because they've got another GT4 in front of them. That looks like it's Kevin Vimont, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Yep. Yeah, Kevin Vimont. Yep.
So yeah, Nikolai says that Tyler isn't smiling. No, he's probably sweating though.
You're staying in the toe, double R down the front straightaway.
That Porsche can hide behind the BMW, can't
Yeah,
it?
you never even see it. Certainly goes through that complex a lot better than the BMW does.
Yeah, Tyler got a great run in the exit of turn 1
Sure
as well.
did. Sure did.
A love tap there.
Yeah, I think he was looking a little inside, and Ratu cut down on him. Ended that day.
A quick apology there from Tyler.
Yeah, just looking at Kevin as well. He's got a TCR in front of him. It looks like one of the Enersol sponsored cars. As you get
Yeah,
Kevin manages to get by before the hairpin.
Princess Pete, I think.
Sorry.
Okay, leader Paul Burgess is in. So Andrew Hopley should take the lead back.
Oh, looks like Tyler's got the run and yeah, you've got the run. He's up at the side. Can he get the move done? Yes, he can. Nice move.
Yeah, it's just can he hang on to it?
So you got a pretty good jump on him.
Rob Venn and Stefan Goebel, that is for position. And Yaz Samai. Yaz is having a good run tonight, guys.
He really is, yeah.
He's usually a crumpled heap by now. But he's all over the back of Stefan.
Yeah, I'm just looking up at the front in TCR as well, and it looks like Carl Hardy and David Ayres have managed to get into first and second at the moment. But obviously, I think they still have to pit. But yeah, nevertheless, it's still a good run from those guys at the moment.
Yeah, like you say, they are still to pit.
As I look at the replay of Pete, and it looks like he might have had another slide again. Oh, he just runs wide.
Hello. I think that's a slowdown out there, I believe.
Well, I hope you're enjoying watching this back, Pete.
You know, he's hating it, Clyde, because he knows you're laughing every time he does something like that.
Yeah, but to be fair, he'll get his own back on me when I do the VRA GTCC.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got 22 people watching and only 4 likes. What's going on?
Yeah, really, come on.
Yeah, I think they're waiting for you to offer some free factors there, Clive.
Yeah, well, if they don't start liking the video, we shall get pictures of Princess Pete up.
It looks like Stefan's got the run as well, and Mr. Vent, but he decides not to do anything silly.
And these three are having a nice little battle, really.
Yeah, and it's it's one of those things, isn't it? That you're in a league. You're not one of the top drivers in the league. Sometimes it can get boring. You end up driving around on your own. But these three have found themselves on similar pace, and they could finish in any order.
That's true. And what's really amazing is depending on
Chester's not far behind as well, Bill. Sorry.
No, that's okay. And what's really amazing is the next time they race, it could be 3 different guys too. I mean, this just changes all the time.
Yeah, that's what I like about the Euro V8 League as well, and this league as well. It's like no matter where you are, you've always got someone to race, even if you're not in the pace up in the front challenging the
absolutely.
You've still got people further back, yet they can race. It's on the same side.
Whoa.
Hey, whoa!
I thought he was going to crash in the back of him. Just then, wow.
Yeah, Marco Luert has just said that Stefan's just got a new direct drive wheel, so
that takes some getting used to, I guess.
But yes, it's like you've always got someone to race, and this is I don't mean it in a bad way, but that's why I don't really like the Pro Series in iRacing, because there's too many. I guess in a way there's too much ego and pride at stake, or in a way.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Me too.
I've got Stuart Dick in the pits again. I don't think that was a drive-through.
Pete should be closing in on that number, shouldn't
he? You would expect so, wouldn't you? Yeah, nobody's hit the 15 mark yet, so...
Oh, good. That's really good. Shows good driving. Rob Venn has done a nice job of defending that position for a while.
He certainly has. We are nearly 45 minutes through. We still have no sign of a safety car yet.
Wow.
Andrew Hopley leads Kevin Vimont by 14 seconds in GT4, with Tyler Newitt in third. In TCR, Carl Hardy is currently first, but yet to pit. David Ayres second, yet to pit. And Chris Shaw in third.
Tom Stanley's dropped back a little bit too from Chris Shaw.
Yeah, it looks like
what happened?
Yeah, it looks like Scott Malcolm.
What do we have here? We got Scott Malcolm. Double R. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that was, again, that wasn't a very good place to overtake there by Double R.
No.
He could have just waited till after the chicane and used the power to go past him.
Stuart Dick's back out. Whoa! That's a replay.
Oh, it hits the wall.
Maybe he had enough damage that wasn't driving right or something.
Well, I think the spin was probably cold tyres.
Oh, yeah, could be.
So it looks like Steph is trying to make a move on Venn up the inside into the hairpin. And yeah, that was a very nice move by Steph, and he didn't dive bomb up the inside, but he just stuck his nose there when he got the chance just to try and get the gap open. And yeah, fair play, managed to pull the move off, and that was as Germans would say, wunderbar.
Well, I'll tell you, hats off to Rob Venn. He gave him the room to do it too. He could have been nasty there, and he was really nice. I'll tell you, to give him the room. That was a good job by Rob.
You're being very multilingual tonight, Ryan.
What can I say? I like to, even though I'm not very good at German, I like to, try and please some of the German viewers. And if I butchered that German up, I hugely apologise.
Okay, well, if the safety car doesn't come out in the next 30 seconds, it's not coming out. There will be people praying for it. There will be people praying not for it.
Yeah, Andrew Hopley's one that really doesn't want it at this point, I would say.
Okay, so David Ayres has pitted. Carl Hardy is in now.
Yeah, I guess they realize that it's not coming out.
Yep, no safety car. No safety car.
Yeah, thanks.
You see that comment from Marco?
Yeah, thanks for that, Marco. I'll just I'll go and hide in my bunker. What has my life come to?
That's okay, Ryan. Let them figure out what you're saying. It's okay.
So, unless I'm mistaken, Chris Shaw has pulled a fairly large gap on Tom Stanley.
That's what I'm saying. I wonder what's happening there.
Yeah, I wonder if Tom Stanley is maybe underfueled slightly.
I mean, those guys were like hooked together. I don't even see him in the same frame there.
No, he's over 6 seconds behind.
Wow.
So, like Ryan said, he could have underfueled.
That's possible.
Possibly. Oh, yeah, I can see Tom Stanley's gone off track somewhere.
Ah.
And as if by
Here's a
magic.
replay. Here's a replay.
Oh, how many people have we seen do that tonight?
Yeah.
I mean, it's an easy corner. It's an easy corner to
Didn't
make.
seem like he lost a lot of time there, though. I'll tell you. I guess enough.
Is there a slowdown there, though?
Yeah, a massive slowdown.
Ah, maybe that's the reason. Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those corners that you want to try and carry as much speed in, but if you take too much, you just end up running wide and clipping the grass ever so slightly, or just running wide. And yeah, we saw Pete make a few mistakes. We've seen now we've just saw Tom Stanley make a mistake as well. So quite a few drivers have been caught out by that.
Yeah, you can't use Pete in that, Ryan, unfortunately, because Pete can make a mistake on the straight.
Yeah, that's what happens when you sniff that anal cell product.
And to the viewers, yes, Andrew Hopley is still in the race. He's leading by 15 and
13 seconds at the moment.
13, beg your pardon. Over Kevin Viamont. Tyler Newitt in third, Roman Ratu in fourth, and Paul Burgess is in fifth. And we got in TCR, we got Chris Shaw, Tom Stanley, Chris Hardy in third, David Ayres in fourth. Carl Hardy has improved immensely over the time he's been with us too, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I was about to say, since I've started, I've watched a few of the broadcasts this season when I've had the chance, and I have to say he's improved massively, and he's up there at the moment in third place, and also David Ayres has improved massively as well, and he's having a good race in fourth as well. So a good race so far for the Result Clothing team.
Absolutely. I'll tell you, and you watch Carl Hardy in the other league, the VRA GTCC, GT3CC. He is really good in that. So I guess these cars are a little newer to him than the GT3 cars.
So we've got 11 minutes left. We know there isn't going to be a safety car now, so barring a disaster, just as I say that, we see Andrew Hopley run a couple of wheels on the grass.
Wow. That might be a slowdown too.
Oh, I was just watching Tyler Newitt lapping one of the TCR cars, and I thought the TCR car was going to run into the back of him, but luckily both of them managed to survive.
Yeah, just watching the gap between Tyler and Kevin at the moment. Just see if Tyler can do anything about that. What's he got? 2.5 seconds with 10 minutes to go. Unfortunately for Princess Pete, nobody has dropped out of the TCRs yet, so he's still last.
Yeah, I was about to say as well, I'm quite surprised there's only be, not in a bad way, of course, but I'm quite surprised that there's only 2 retirements. So, yeah, fair play to everyone that's still going at the moment.
Yeah, I'm still not sure what happened to Stuart. I think AAA was a rage quit. Stuart had some technical difficulties,
I don't know.
or whether that was, he came in and used his fast repair and then sort of immediately crashed, and enough was enough.
Could be. Yeah, Tyler Newitt's got a tall order to catch up with Kevin and get by him.
Yeah, the gap is fairly stable at the moment. Still about 2.5 seconds.
And we still have a little more than 8 minutes to go, so you never know. That's roughly, what, 3 or 4 more laps to go, roughly. Okay, Kevin's clear. Got nothing in front of him between himself and Kevin Viamont now.
Yeah, Tyler just got a little bit of a toe off of the TCR. Actually, I'm looking at the wrong gap. It's just over 4 seconds. Sorry, not 2. So yeah, I don't think he's going to do that without a mistake from Kevin. But you never know.
Kevin Viamont doesn't make a lot of mistakes. I don't want to give him the announcer's curse or anything, but you're absolutely right. You don't know.
Rob Venn and Yaz Samai look like they're having a rare battle.
Certainly do.
Yaz has promised us an interview tonight.
Really? No kidding.
He's had his hair and makeup done specially.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did read that. That's right. Said he was going to his hairdresser. Yeah, I read that.
Ooh, Rob only just kept that there.
He decided to take the wide line, I guess, that time.
Now, Yaz's paint always looks to me like he's run somebody over and it's blood splattered.
Yeah, Paul Burgess has the same kind of paint job, but it's not like this one, like you say, yeah.
Yeah, different colours, isn't it?
Yep. And there's Paul Burgess there, blue and yellow.
Yeah, I like the blood version better.
Like Ryan had mentioned, Paul Burgess is doing a heck of a job tonight. He's in 5th place, doing a really good job.
Yeah, we've seen him have a oh,
look at that.
There
Kevin's
is a
off.
mistake from Kevin.
Yeah, it's going to allow Tyler to close up rapidly.
Tyler's passed him.
Oh, is he past him?
Yeah.
Wow. He's going to think I gave him the announcer curse. In that same... No, is that the same
Ooh,
spot?
just
Here it is again, yep.
Yeah, it is the same spot, but he took too much speed going in, didn't he?
That's a tricky spot right there, I'll tell you. It's obviously showed itself tonight.
Yeah, Tyler and Double R go sailing through. So Tyler up into second, Double R up into third.
Yeah, still not over yet. Okay, Scott Malcolm closing in on Craig Gary.
Yeah, it seems to be the case with Scott. Like the early stages of the race, he seems to have a great run, and like we saw like at the start of the race. But I don't know. It just seems to be bad luck. Seems to strike for Scott for some reason. But
Yeah, do you know, that's polar opposite from the start of the season. We started calling him second half Scott because he would be absolutely nowhere, and then you'd look at the clock and it would be 30 minutes gone, and all of a sudden he'd start passing people.
Yep, that's right.
But I think with Scott tonight, I think Scott's shown his pace tonight. He just did that silly
And
half spin, didn't he?
David Ayer's off track there for a minute. Let's see if we had anything happen here. Nope. He was trying to keep up with that car. So whoops. Uh-oh.
Yeah, the front wheels just said no.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to go around the corner? Guess again. So, with a little over 3 minutes left, we currently have Andrew Hopley leading GT4s by 15 seconds. Tyler Newitt now second, Romain Ratu in third. No change in the TCRs. Chris Shaw leads over Tom Stanley with us again another sizable lead, and Carl Hardy in third. Simon Chester's in the pits again.
Goodness. He's back out.
Simon, who is lovingly known as the Plodder.
Wonder if he didn't put enough fuel in there or something. Kind of weird. Now Paul Burgess is on the back of Kevin Viamat.
Yeah.
That was a uncharacteristic mistake from Kevin Viamat.
It was, yes, definitely. And there was no pressure on him either, was it? It wasn't like he was racing anybody.
No. But that place has caught a lot of people out tonight, right in that one section. Right there. That's a tough little corner.
Yeah. This is close as well, these two.
This track is the former home of the Italian Grand Prix.
Yeah, as well when it held the excuse me, it held the San Marino or Italian Grand Prix. I'm not sure what it was called. Just the weekend gone by, and it was actually quite a good race. Not the most exciting, but it wasn't a dull fest like it has been at times this season.
They call it the San Marino, don't they?
Yep.
Yeah. No, it was called something different, wasn't it, this year?
Was it? Oh.
It was a name, a person's name.
Oh, okay. I haven't watched Formula One in a couple of years. Okay,
so I believe Andrew Hopley is on the final lap.
Okay.
Don't think. I'm pretty sure he's not going to get round. Start another one.
Yeah, we've only got 15 seconds remaining, so I believe it will be the final lap indeed.
And there is our leader.
And he's approaching the chicane.
So just the tricky double left to go. Scott Malcolm putting all sorts of pressure on Gary Craig.
Looks like he's going to get him,
He's
too.
done him this time, hasn't he?
Maybe not. Yeah, I think he's got him.
Later on the brakes.
Oh, nice move.
Wow.
Yeah, there we go. Andrew Hopley takes home the GT4 win.
Well done again by Andrew Hopley.
Yeah, breaking Tyler Newitt. There he is. Tyler was on a 2-race winning streak.
With
Tyler
Roman,
comes home second, Double R in third.
Roman right behind him.
Yep, and Chris Shaw just came across the line to take the TCR class as well.
Yep. As well as Tom Stanley.
And then Carl Hardy's just coming out the final corner as well, and he'll round out the top three with a very well-deserved podium in third place.
There you
Very
go.
most definitely.
Marco's got it. It was the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix.
Oh. Could have fooled me. Okay. Thank you.
I must admit, I don't really follow F1. I find it too sterile.
Nah.
Yeah, I don't follow it like I used to, like in the 90s and early 2000s. Just it's too, my opinion, it's too commercialized now.
I think you guys call it poshy.
Yeah.
And Princess Pete coming down across the line.
And win in TCR class for Pete Bingham.
Excuse me?
Well, it's just so that he can clip that bit out of the video
Oh.
and play it to people.
Okay.
He paid me a tenner to do that.
Oh, all right.
Right, let me get this replay saved.
Okay. Looks like we have the results here. Andrew Hopley was your winner. Tyler Newitt in second. Roman Ratu in third. Nice finish for him. Kevin Viamont in fourth. Paul Burgess fifth. Gregory Banks sixth. Stefan Goebel in seventh. Rob Ben eighth. Yaz Semay in ninth. Simon Chester 10th. Stuart Dick 11th, who quit. And 12th was AAA Abdul Al Amri, who also quit. So that's your roundup for the GT4s.
Yep, taking the win in the TCR class was Chris Shaw, with Tom Stanley finishing in second. Rounding at the top three with a well-deserved podium was Carl Hardy for Result Clothing, with teammate David Ailes in fourth. Roger Morton finished in fifth, with Mark Heron in sixth. Seventh was Scott Malcolm. Gary Craig was in eighth, and rounding out the result in the class was Princess Pete, and not getting the result he wanted was that Anosol sponsorship.
No, that's very true. So I tell you what, let's bring Princess Pete himself in first, because we know he likes to get involved in the interviews. Pete, you'll be pleased to know we didn't catch any of your spins at all.
That's a lie.
Or did I mean to say we caught all of them? I can't remember.
Yeah, and I was performing a function there. As Gary said before, it was Team Anosol bringing up the rear.
Most definitely. And what a fantastic paint it was. So how did you find the car around here?
I found it. It's funny. In the practice sessions, I was less crashy than in the race. Don't know why. My first lap didn't do me any good. And David gave me a squeeze onto the side, which I backed out of, and that set me up all wrong for the next like 3 corners. And then I got spat out at the back of the queue. And once you lose the toe in that TCR, you are done. It's so hard to catch up unless you are like individually very, very quick, and I'm not. So I just steadily got further and further away.
It did look like the toe was keeping people together, especially the sort of first third of the race, and then it started to spread out a bit.
Yeah.
Gary Craig. I spoke to Gary. I mentioned it earlier on in the broadcast. If you watch it back, I expected Pete to be a bit more crashy because, last week you had nothing to prove. You plodded round, you finished, nice clean car, and then this week you've got a teammate and a teammate who's also a good friend. And I just expected you to be more crashy because you would be pushing the limits a bit further, trying to beat Gary.
No, not really. Gary's a lot quicker than his position. His result has come out as. I don't think I suited this track like I suited Laguna Seca. I'll try not to be crashy at the best of times, but it doesn't always work out that way. That's why you call me Bumpy, but there you go. Or now you call me Princess. So, and I think Gary would have been happier being further up the field. I think he thinks he should have finished 5th. He amassed himself a number of incident points, and what didn't help was crashing into Scott Malcolm on lap 2, I think it was, when Scott was turned in Alta.
Scott, if it's the same incident I'm thinking of, Scott lost it on his own.
Yeah.
And then Gary pretty much did exactly the same. But because Scott was already there, they just slid, Gary just slid into him, shall we say. But then Scott's trying to get back on the track and he's like bashing Gary out of the way. So it's a bit of a comedy moment.
Yeah, and I think that did for Gary up until the first pit stop. After that, he was a lot faster, but by then, in that TCR, you've already lost all your momentum, position, etc. It really is a car you can't afford to lose the pack in. I realised that tonight.
Okie dokie. Well, Sebring next week, mate. So we like that track.
We do.
Okay, well, cheers for that, Pete. I'm going to leave you in here. You feel free to leave if you need to do something else. Cool. Ryan, do you fancy doing an interview?
Yeah, why not? I could take Mr. Tyler Hewitt.
Okie dokie. Let's bring in our second place finisher in GT4, Tyler Hewitt. Over to you, Ryan.
Tyler Hewitt, yeah, you finished in 2nd place after starting in 5th, and you had a good race with was it Kevin Vimont, I think it was?
Yeah, the race winner was in the rating room, right? Because he was.
Yeah, we're making him wait. Don't worry.
Gotcha. Yeah, I had a good race. I knew coming into it was going to be a fight for 2nd because I had set up a practice, and I had to pull out every trick in the book and get 10 off tracks just to get within a 2nd of Hopley. So I knew all day it was going to be a fight for 2nd, so I just had to get the setup right and the strategy right. And for most of the race, I was just kind of minding my tires, minding my fuel, and trying to keep up with the guys in front. Helped when Roma got AAA out of the way, and then Kevin took himself out. I didn't really have to pass anyone except Roma towards the end after the pit stops, but it went all right.
And the Porsche, what did you think of the Porsche came in around here? Did you think did the track suit the car, or did you think it was more of a BMW track with regards to straight line speed?
I think any track with a straight longer than Laguna Seca is going to be partial to the BMW. I mean, I figured I was as quick, if not quicker, than the two Mika cars, but that was the most aggressive setup I've run so far this season. It's pretty much the first time I've been off just the base VRS setup. So I was pulling out every trick I could think of, and even then, I was, you know, you can exit the last corner right on the bumper of a BMW, and you'd be a couple tenths behind into the first corner, and the braking advantage wasn't quite what it was at some other tracks. So I don't want to say it was BMWs were favored in terms of pace, because I mean, I beat plenty of BMWs. Kevin was quick, Stuart was quick, so the Porsche was definitely capable of setting lap times to keep up with the BMWs. But the as far as racing goes, you had to really set up your passes if you were going to make them. So I was just kind of keeping everything under control. I was getting close to the incident limit at the end. That's why Romain was reeling me in so quickly, because I was just trying to keep it between the white lines. But, you know, it all worked out. I was a little disappointed Kevin ruined my perfect record of either finishing third or first. So, but I'll take second.
Good stuff. And looking into Sebring next week, is it a track that you're a fan of, or is that one of those tracks
Nope.
that you? But or not. Anyway, that answers my question. So
Yeah, it's not a track I'm a fan of, and I can't imagine that the Porsche is going to have much for the BMW around there if we're using the full layout. There's far too many long straights, so I'll enjoy my ride around probably fifth or sixth and call it a day, I think.
good stuff. Well, again, congratulations on second place, Tyler, and hopefully hopefully see you on the grid for the Euro V8 on Saturday as well.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
As that was the second place finisher, Tyler New joining us, and anyone that you want to interview, Clyde?
Oh, I'm going to interview everybody. Right, let's get in our GT4 winner, Andrew Hopley. Welcome to the booth.
Thank you.
Sorry, we got Tyler in first because he was in some absolutely fantastic battles, whereas you had quite a boring race.
I was listening to the stream, mate. I know you're lying.
You're obviously no safety car tonight. You must have been pleased with that. Didn't give anybody the chance to get back on your bumper.
Yeah, definitely. I was clock watching that one. Definitely. The tires go off quite late on in the race on the front of the BMW, so it was a case of once I'd got that gap after the pit stop, I was trying to really sort of look after that front right just in case the safety car came out and I had half a chance of retaining the lead.
Yeah, and so I take it you don't change tyres in your pit stop. How can you change tyres on these cars? Is it fronts and rears or lefts and rights?
I think Tyler's the man to ask with that one, buddy. I don't really know. Yeah, I haven't ventured down that avenue yet. But I suspect that the less, because the car goes, all four tires, all four wheels come off the car when it goes up for tires, right? So I'm guessing the less amount of tires you take, the less amount of time it's up on the jack. So, and I think you can take tires and fuel at the same time. So, from what I know, I think I think if you take two tires, it's roughly the same as taking a full tank. So I'm guessing, and when I say full tank, I mean a full BSTV tank, which is like 50 litres. So I'm guessing it's probably longer to take two tires, but not that much.
With you, okay. So obviously, just on your race, we didn't see a lot of you because you was away in the front. But there was a lot going on behind you. You had, you obviously looking at your relative. AAA was behind you, and then he got moved by Roman. So Roman was behind you, then Kevin was behind you, then Tyler was behind you. But none of them could quite match Andrew Hopley around this track. So is there a secret to it? Have you done a load of practice, or is it just one of those tracks that you got into a rhythm and you was just quicker than everybody else?
I'd say quite a lot of those things that you've just reeled off, really. Put a lot of practice in, as much as possible, considering ventured into the GT3 world at the weekend, but
for a short while.
For a short while. But yeah, I do like the track. Ran it for 2 seasons consecutively in the TCR, in another league last year. It's one of my favourites, so I do enjoy the track. And the BMW seems to have I don't know if it has the edge, particularly because there's quite a few Porsches that have been up there and been quicker than me in the official practices. So I wouldn't say it has the edge, but it's definitely on par with the Porsche around here in terms of overall pace.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's quite funny because if you ask a BMW driver, they go, "Yeah, we think we're on par with the Porsche," and if you ask a Porsche driver, they go, "Nah, BMW's massively quicker." It's like the BTCC front wheel drive, rear wheel drive argument.
I think the top and tail of it really is if you're looking at a power track that's got sort of slow corners with long straights, then the BMW is going to be up there all day long, which is surprising for Imola because you think, well, it's quite a twisty track, right? So, but the corners require a lot of curb abuse, which the BMW seems to do a lot better than the Porsche. So, or should I say, there's more risk in taking curb with the Porsche because it will kill you, whereas the BMW tends to sort of glide over curbs a lot better than the Porsche. So
excellent. Okay then. Well, like you said, congratulations on yet another win in the championship. Obviously cementing your place at the top for now. Anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Shout out to Marco Namella for all his time and effort he gave me over the weekend. That was an experience, and so a big shout out to Marco. Thanks for you guys for the broadcast, and Gregory, my teammate.
Excellent. So we will see you next week at Sebring. Our GT winner tonight, Andrew Hopley. Okay, right. Who are we going to get in next? I suppose we better get our third place driver in. Double R, welcome to the booth.
Welcome.
Hello there. So you had an interesting race tonight, my friend. Some absolutely amazing battles. We see your incident with AAA. Tell us about it from your point of view.
At first, what a race! It's crazy. Despite the early incident with AAA, which has a dangerous line of defense, he went into contact with Kevin several times. Then it was my turn to see him fall back on me when I have had the car on the left for 3 seconds already. So I don't know where he wanted I go. But anyway, I was able to get through this for once. And after that, you had to keep up the pace. And Tyler was very quick at the time when I was out of pace. So that was a very interesting race. But AAA is very dangerous in his defense line. I'm not the only driver I have a problem with her defense during the race. Kevin have a lot of car contact from him, so Yeah, he have just a move. I have the 3 second 3 second rally. I have a car on the left, so I don't know where he wanted to I go. So yeah.
Okay, well, we like to let people have their say. And then we see you in a fantastic battle with Tyler. And we was wondering whether Tyler could, get past. And he did. And we thought, oh, it's done and dusted. Then you went back past him. Then Tyler got you again. So that must have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was very fun, but a little scared for me because when I was in front of him, just before he passed me, I have a problem with my my sound. I have no battery on my on my uh, on my sound, and I just changed the battery during the straight, and I don't. I don't change during the time on the straight, so I lose so much time with no sound on my ear. So that was really fun. And I after that during 3 or 4 lap, I don't have pace, and I don't know why. And after this 3-4 lap, I go back on my pace on my basic pace, and I go back on the back to Tyler, but that was so difficult to pass in this track without a mistake. So Tyler is really fast. That was a pleasure. The battle was very fair. He led the place when we are two on the same turn. So yeah, that was really fun, and just a little scared with my sound, but it's okay.
Yeah, I must admit I've had my sound go on me before, and it's very off-putting. You lose all of your references, so yeah, that's not very nice. So before we let you go, mate, anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I would like to thank my team, Mekai Sport, my partner, Kinos Pro, Nuage Plus de Com, Domaine Diguet et Clémo, Transport Diguet et Clémo et Domaine Saumur, and you guys for the broadcast. You broadcast very well. That was really fun to watch after the race, the replay, and the championship was so crazy and so intense. So yeah, I would like to thank all of you and all person who watch the stream, and I hope they like the race, this race of this championship. So yeah.
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining us in the booth. Congratulations on your third place, Romain Ratu.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so next up we will get our fourth place finisher in GT4, Kevin Viermont. Welcome to the booth.
Thanks. Good evening.
Good evening. So, Kevin, you had a second place in the bag, and you threw it away.
Yeah, just a joke. Team order. No. I have a setup with no downforce, and at the end of the race, I have no tire on the rear, and I have oversteer, and I make a mistake in the grass.
Yeah, and obviously you then watched Tyler and Romain go past, and then you was towards the end. You was in a bit of a battle with Paul Burgess.
Yes, Paul is very fast at the end of the race, but I say I take my position because I pass the chicken Alta more fast than he.
Okay. So how did you find the Porsche on this track? Was it Did you think it was lacking compared with the BMWs?
Oh, it's very close. Depending the setup. For me, I have no downforce, and I catch the BMW on the straight. But I say if I more downforce, the BM is very fast on the straight.
Okay, well, congratulations on your fourth place. It could have been a second, but you and Romain have got your pace back this week, so well done. Anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Yes, I thanks Roman for the training, my team Mecha Sport, all people of Mecha Sport, and all sponsors Mecha Transport Digue Clémo, Domaine Filatro, Kino Pro, and NuagePlus.com.
Excellent. Well, always a pleasure talking to you, Kevin, and we'll see you next time at Sebring.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot. Okay, so let's bring in our fifth place finisher, Paul Burgess. Welcome to the booth.
Good evening.
Good evening. So, Paul, from what I can remember of the race, you had a fairly quiet race. And then towards the end, things got interesting when Kevin made his mistake, and you put a lot of pressure on him. Tell us about the race from your perspective.
Yeah, well, I started off really badly by getting the slow down lap 1 at the chicane.
Oh, that's nasty.
And then messed up actually taking the slow down when I was about 3 seconds behind everyone at the end of the first lap. So from then on, it was just keep in touch without the slipstream and see where you go. So I tried to do something different. I basically gambled on no safety car, went long, hoped TCRs could help me out a bit with that strategy. And it worked as I managed to overcut Gregory just about. And then I'd also taken a couple of tyres because there's just no grip around here once the tyres get a bit worn. So I think I was slowly catching Roman. I don't know if he had a bit of damage as well. But then Kevin had his spin, and that made the last few laps a little bit more interesting for me, trying to chase him down. But it's very hard to overtake unless you're quite a bit quicker.
Yeah. So, with your should we say your poor start, you must be. Oh, I suppose you're over the moon from getting fifth. The tactics that you gambled at worked, and like you said, you was 3 seconds behind everybody at the end of lap 1, and still got a fifth place. So, when are you going to turn that speed into another podium?
Yeah, well, I just need to cut out the odd mistake and get back into the rhythm. I mean, this is one of my favourite tracks, so I think I was always hoping to get a good result here, to be honest. And I kind of messed up qualifying a bit. I reckon I could have qualified P2, P3 maybe with some of the pace I've done in practice and earlier in the week and today. But I just never put a lap together in quali, so starting 7th, I'm glad to get 5th and had a bit of luck that Stuart as well had a pretty bad race here and sort of is keeping a championship very close. So, yeah, all been interesting.
Yeah, well, Stuart has actually said he hates this track so much that he wished he hadn't raced and had watched the US elections instead. So that's a pretty damning statement. So, yeah. Anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go, Paul?
I'd like to thank Andrew for hopping in earlier in the week with me and Yaz as well and giving a bit of a talk through the track. And, of course, Yaz as well for keeping me company in those practice sessions and talking through the track together. And, yeah, just thank everyone else in the league as usual and you guys for putting this on and making such fun racing. And tonight, I think it was remarkable how close 2nd through to 5th was after an hour race. Less than 4 seconds separate us, so it's great to see how close we continue to race in this league.
Yeah, definitely. And talking of Yaz, we're going to drag him in next. Finally talked him into an interview, so We'll get ready for some fun. So, congratulations on your 5th place, Paul. We will let you go, and we'll see you next week at Sebring.
Yep. Thanks very much. See you later.
Managed to dump myself out of the booth there. You thought I would have learned how to use this by now. Anyway, without further ado, it's time for the man, the myth, the legend. That is Yaz Samai. Welcome to the booth.
I think that's a myth that you just called me a myth. Yeah, welcome. Thank you.
Did I say myth? I meant to say moth.
Oh, yeah, that sounds a bit better. Sorry, I couldn't hear you over there.
So, Yaz, first time we've managed to get a word with you. Obviously, new to the league this season. How are you finding it?
Well, new to racing also. I mean, I only started around about June, so it's been good. Definitely gotten a lot better since starting in the league. I can tell you that much. I think it's just the help from everybody has been phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah, it's certainly on the whole a very, very friendly and helpful league, and normally very clean racing as well. But you know, your pace seems to be picking up. You know, you're in a field of what do we have, 12 tonight, and you finished 9th. You know, admittedly, 2 of those cars had issues, but you seem to be finding a battle every week now, whereas probably at the start of the season you was overdriving the car and finding yourself quite a few seconds behind. Do you think that's a fair statement?
Yeah, for sure. I think in the beginning, there's a lot that I've learned, like I said, since the beginning of the season that I didn't know before, which has helped a lot. But I think that, you know, the top 8 in this league, any one of them can win a race. And then it's just sort of a battle at the back, myself, Rob Ving, Google, Chester, kind of battling for 9th place. You know, and we seem to be tight among each other now in terms of times. And I think this we had quite a good, you know, 4 of us were probably a couple of laps. We were just about 2 seconds between the 4 of us, which was quite fun. So we're still enjoying ourselves at the back there.
Excellent. Well, you know, I'm a backpacker at best.
Plodder. I think the word plodder.
What one
plodder group.
One little tip is, you know, the people that you're racing against every week. Pick the first person. Sorry, my dog has just come in to see me. Pick the person in front of you and use them as a target. Get as quick as them, then get quicker than them, then change your target to the next person.
Yeah, I think for tonight, I did set my target on 9th place. I think that I qualified in about 9th, so I thought 9th would be good. But then obviously when Stuart Dick and Triple A dropped out, 7th was on the cards. But once I got stuck behind Rob Vin, I just couldn't get past. So I think I think I had the pace to go at it in that second group.
Yeah, keep plugging away, mate. Concentrate on consistency, and then the pace will come.
For sure.
Anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I think the first person I really thank is my wife, who's sort of become a sim racing widow now, because I spend so much time on this thing. But yeah, I need to say thank you for her patience. But I think Paul, that's got me into this. He's helped me along quite a lot. And then just everybody else in this league who's, I don't know there's been anyone who hasn't offered help to practice sessions. Andrew's on there just about every week with me. Last week it was Stuart Dick and Triple A. Kevin has jumped on with me. And all the guys are just
excellent.
Definitely, thank you.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on your 9th place, mate. Keep plugging away, and the better results will come.
For sure.
So, hopefully not for the last time. That was Yaz Samai. I'm sure we'll get him in the booth again. Thank you very much, Yaz.
Thanks, man.
Okay, Ryan, do you fancy interviewing our 3rd place TCR finisher, Carl Hardy?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just about to ask if I could take him, and yeah, he joins us now. And Carl Hardy finishing in 3rd place in the TCR class and taking his best result of the season, I believe. Carl, how does that feel?
Yeah, you're all right. Yeah, it was good. Good night. Not bad. Started, I think, 7th. Couple of overtakes. Yeah, it was hard race on.
Yeah, I mean, in the early stages of the race, it seemed to be the top 4 at the time were pulling away and just leaving the rest of the pack behind. And then, unfortunately, your teammate Scott Malcolm had issues in the chicane and just spun out there, I believe. But you seem to keep out of trouble, and yeah, you got rewarded with a podium finish. And yeah, you seem to be getting quicker and quicker. Is that just down to practice?
Yeah, I do a lot of practice. It's just obviously not enough because I can't keep up with Tom and Chris.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I've watched it a few times. I mean, I know me and you used to race against each other on the BSR MS5 League, and since I last raced then, and watching you, your pace has improved, and also watching your teammate David, it seems to be the whole Result Clothing team as a whole seems to be getting quicker and quicker.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've still got the guys in the MX5, which, you know, I mean, they like the girly car. That's fine. But yeah, I just needed another step, and obviously we found Backfire, and here we are, loving it.
And with this podium finish, do you think you can carry that momentum on to next week at Sebring, or do you think it'll be, with the nature of the track, do you think it'll be a lot more difficult?
I really like Sebring, so I will be gutted if I can't keep up with him too.
And yeah, before we let you go, is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to?
You guys, and obviously Pete for sharing his lovely looks.
Did you like that one?
It was lovely.
I'll let you into a little secret. He's got a different one every week.
Love it. As long as they get shorter and shorter, and then you may end up with a stalker, and that is not me.
No, I'm waiting on David for that.
No, he is going to be your biggest stalker ever.
Wait till he sees me with the makeup on.
And he hasn't stopped talking about you.
Oh, God.
I can't blame him. I've seen me.
Oh, goodness gracious me.
Yeah, bless. Yeah, no, you guys obviously do a brilliant job. Obviously, the Result lads and all the other drivers, brilliant. It's good. Loving it.
Good stuff. Well, again, congratulations on the 3rd place, Carl, and we'll look forward to seeing you on track next week at Sebring.
Cheers, Roy. Take care.
As Carl Hardy joining us and getting a well-deserved podium finish. And yeah, is there anyone that you fancy taking, Bill?
Not me, no. I'm a listener.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to bring in our 5th place finisher, Roger Morton. Welcome to the booth.
Hi guys, how are we doing?
Not very often we get to speak to you, my friend.
No, I thought I'd come and say hi.
Well, I'm going to say, even though it's congratulations on your 5th place, I'm going to say this could have been so much better. I said it on the broadcast, and I didn't mean it in a derogatory way, but there was Tom Stanley, Chris Shaw, then Scott Malcolm, then Roger Morton, and you was all on the same piece of track. What's going on? Is somebody else driving for you? Or do you just really enjoy this track, or have you found something?
To be fair, it's sort of first time I've managed to get any practice on Monday to do a bit of the car. Plus, I do like the track. A bit of a combination, really. But then I ended up messing it all up like I normally do. So
it did go, shall we say, a little bit pear-shaped. But you know, you had that pace in the first, shall we say, first 20 minutes of the race. Is that something that you can carry on to further rounds? You know, are you going to get some more practice in, and are we likely to see you, you know, up the sharp end of the grid more often?
I like to think so. Probably better for next season, due to one of the BSR leagues coming to an end. So and I'm getting rid of that altogether. So it gives me more time to practice. But again, next week it's Sebring, I believe.
It is, yes.
Another track I do like. To be fair, I've never driven it with TCR, but I do like the track, so I can't see it taking too long to bring a few laps together.
Yeah, it's one of my favourite tracks as well. So I'm not particularly fast around it. I just it's just a lovely flowing track.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Hopefully, like you say, I'll be doing a bit more practice where I can. I've not really had a lot of experience with TCR up until this season. Really, I've driven it at the odd every now and then, and I did a couple of races last season. But I'm starting to enjoy it a bit more now. Now I can drive it a bit better.
Yeah, well, you know, considering you nearly didn't take part in the league this season, I think you're going great guns.
Yeah, well, we're trying. Carl put some good sessions on for hosting some sessions, and when I can, I will try and join them as much as I can. Like, hopefully next season, again, like I say, I'll have more time to put some more practice in. So try and put a bit more fight towards the top three. Then hopefully a bit more often.
Excellent. That's always good to hear. Well, like I say, congratulations on your 5th place, even though it could have been better. Anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go?
The usual, you lot do a cracking job week in, week out. Can't thank you enough. I really do enjoy watching the streams afterwards. And also my team result, they're cracking. Yeah, they do a good job. They've helped me out. They took me under the wing, and they're making me who I am. So yeah, thanks to them.
Excellent. Well, nice to talk to you as usual, Roger, and we'll see you at Sebring.
Cheers, guys. See you later, guys.
Right, Ryan. I'll take Scott because he's my teamie, and then we'll finish off with you and Gary Craig.
Sounds good.
Scott Malcolm, teamie, welcome to the booth.
All right, guys.
Right. So where shall we start? Let's start the start of the race. You were giving it to Chris Shaw. I asked the same question to Roger because he was up there with you. What happened there? Is somebody else driving for you? Do you really love the track, or have you found something?
Found something.
Ooh, what, setup wise or Scott wise?
Scott wise.
Okay, so that sounds interesting. We'll let you keep that secret. We won't press you on it too much.
Yeah.
So yes, you know, you was really giving it to Chris at the start, and you know, this thing that you found, which we won't go into details. Is that will that show up next week as well?
I hope so. Can't guarantee it, but I hope so.
Okay. So then we get into the nitty gritty of the race. We see you have that that little spin. Gary Craig unfortunately did exactly the same thing and ended up in exactly the same place, but you was already there. I know you was going on last week about you know, being annoyed cutting out the the silly mistakes on the first lap. That one was, I don't know, halfway through the race. But if it makes you feel any better, you wasn't the only one. There was plenty of people that had incidents there. What was it? Just overdriving into that corner?
I had to look back at it. I actually nearly did it at the end of the race as well, because I was kind of throwing the car into that chicane, and I did it about 3 or 4 laps before the end, and I nearly lost it again. I went, oh god, well that's what I did. I better not do that again. Because Carl thought I'd hit the inside curb, and I knew I hadn't hit that. And it was just a case of overdriving that car too much in that corner. I've got
Was
a
it not
habit.
that you were intimidated by my late charge from 9 miles back?
I didn't even notice that.
That's because it didn't happen.
People didn't even realise you was on the track, Pete. And then at the end, and I've got to agree with you, and I did say it on the broadcast there. I can't remember if it was Kevin or Roman put that rather, should we call it, impatient move on you into the chicane, where they could have just waited and zipped past you on the straight. So that must have been frustrating.
Yeah, it was. I think some of the guys have got to realise that the GT4 cars are a lot faster on the straight, so just have a wee bit of patience. You're going to get by in the long straights. Any kind of straight you're going to get by. There's no point in trying to go for it in a stupid place like, I've just seen on the stream there exactly what had happened. He could have waited until after that and he would have got past the Imola.
Yeah, and obviously we can see your wing mirror bouncing down the track there. But 7th place, all right, not wonderful, but the pace you showed in the first part of the race, you must be, well, providing you like Sebring, you must be fairly excited for Sebring.
Sebring, I think, is going to be tough. It's a very, very bumpy track, and I think it's going to be quite sore in the arms, I think.
Yeah, get yourself a nice soft setup, negate the bumps, and abuse the curbs. That's all I can tell you for Sebring.
Yeah, already working on that at the moment.
Is it a track that you like generally, or is it a take it or leave it track?
Sebring's all right. I've done a lot of races there with the Kia. It was not bad. It's not a bad track for these kind of cars. I don't know what it's going to be like the TCR. It should be okay, I think.
Okie dokie. Well, like I say, it is congratulations on your 7th place because you still finished. And we've seen some extra speed out of you tonight, Scott. So well done on that. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
It's going to be the usual suspects. All you guys for taking time for doing all this broadcast and running this league. Carol Hardy for putting up all his hard end cash and all these practice sessions that he thinks he is getting better at. Who else?
Your missus?
No. No. That's not going to harm. That's never going to harm. Just everybody else. That's it.
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining us in the booth, Scott, and we'll see you next time at Sebring.
Yeah, no bother.
Okay, so last but not least for Ryan is Mr. Craig Gary.
Yeah, join us in the booth. And first off, First off, Craig, yeah, your livery looks pretty nice. What did you think of it?
On the whole, it was quite good actually. It's quite nice.
Yeah, I mean, it looks nice, but it just on the other hand, it didn't seem to bring you much luck. But how for you? How did the race go overall?
That was the second time I've ever driven this car, so I was dead happy that I was at least hanging on that first kind of 5 laps. I was behind the top 5. I was just kind of settled in. I thought I'd maybe try and save a little bit of fuel behind them, started easing off, made a minor mistake and got out of draft, and then that was it. Carl kind of reeled me in very quickly after that, and then a couple of laps later I just had that silly mistake, and then after that I was just driving on my own.
Yeah, I mean, I think yeah, 1 or 2 drivers say that if you lose the draft around here or lose the draft in general with this car, you're just basically it's game over because you lose some time and you can't claw it back. So I guess in a way around here, sticking in the toe is a big advantage.
Yeah, it would have been. I just dropped out of that, and as soon as I did, I started dropping back by about half a second a lap, and just couldn't make it back up again. But it was good fun. I enjoyed it while it lasted.
And looking ahead to Sebring next week, is it a track that you like, or is it one of those tracks that's is it kind of like take it or leave it sort of track?
No, Sebring's fantastic. It's a really good track. Really enjoy Sebring. This track's also, it's a driver's track. They're just really good fun to drive. Whether you're racing anyone else, they're actually just enjoyable. So it makes a big difference.
And before we let you go, anyone that you want to give a thank you or a shout out to?
Yeah, I wasn't doing this race at all until Monday night. I said I'd join Pete as he was doing some practice, and then jumped in one that Carl Hardy had hosted. And yeah, just got chatting with Carl and David on their Discord. They convinced me to join the league, so thanks to them for being kind of friendly and twisting my arm on Monday. So that was a bit of good fun. And then yeah, thanks to you guys for doing the broadcast as usual. And yeah, I don't think my fan club turns up on a Wednesday. They don't know I'm here. Although I did see my brother say hello in chat. So
yeah, your brother was in.
I think he says he gets your notifications when you go live, so he pops in, says hello, and gives you a like.
Yeah, I think that he doesn't come in to watch you.
No, I know. So yeah, cheers guys for the broadcast as well.
Good stuff. Thanks for joining us on the booth, Craig, and we look forward to seeing you on track next week.
I'm gonna have to get Clyde back for this. He's got everyone confused on purpose.
My God.
Cheers.
I like that. On the whole, it's a good paint. I love it. It's class. I was buckled back here. I could barely breathe. I was laughing at that.
Right. So let's start with Pete. Give us your thoughts on the race from a driving perspective.
It was for me. It was a tough one, and I was driving in 37 seconds worth of no man's land for a lot of that race. It's a brilliantly technical track that you can pick up an awful lot of incident points on, and I did. I still don't know how you do Aqua Minerale. It's an anathema. It's just unknown. It was an exciting race, and I wish I could have stayed with the pack, and I didn't get to do that. There was all sorts of controversy further up the field. Everything was up the field from me, but further up the field, there was a few shenanigans going on. A few people losing their tempers and their cool. So yet to see that when I watched the broadcast back again. But I enjoyed it, even though I was tootling around at the back. I think Sebring, hopefully I'll do a lot more practice for. I do like the track, and I think lots of people like that track, so I think we'll get on well there.
Excellent. So, Bill, let's go to you next. Give us your race summary.
I thought it was sensational. A lot of good battles. Like you mentioned before, the first half of the race, I could not believe how many cars were close together. It was really excellent. A lot of good battles. Scott Malcolm did exactly the reverse what he usually does, but that was interesting as well. And in the end, Andrew Hopley showed his expertise. He got out there in front, got a big lead, and we didn't even know he was racing out there. He was so far ahead. So hats off to him. He did a nice job. And, of course, hats off to everybody on the podium. They did a great job. So, yeah, and I think Imola's a great track. And like Pete says, it's extremely technical. And that one spot, you know, he named it, but right down on the bottom, I don't know how many people made a mistake in there. It shows you how tough this track is. So, and also I like Sebring. It's the closest track to where I live as far as a road racing track. So, but it's in the middle of Florida. It's very hot and nasty there, but it's a great racetrack. So, yep, we're looking forward to that one too. I thought overall it was great. Thanks for the drivers that came out, and glad Gary Craig's with us. He sounded pretty chipper, even though he came in 7th. You know, and of course, Gary's got a lot of spunk. He can do a good job if he's, you know, puts a little time into this vehicle. So looking forward to having him in the league as well.
Awesome. And Ryan, what did you make of that race?
Yeah, I thought it was a fantastic race. It was good, great racing going on in both classes, and we had that battle with Tyler and Triple A as well, and his teammate as well, and also the TCR class was good, and it was good to see the likes of Carl Hardy take the first podium in the series, I believe it was, and also in general, good to see the Result Clothing team improving race by race.
Yeah, and you know, from me, you know, as I said at the start, you're a mug if you bet against Andrew Hopley. But, you know, if we'd have had a safety car, things may have been different. Tyler Newitt, second. So, you know, first, second in his last 3 races. So we can see that he's got some talent in the car. Double R and Kevin Veermont showing some pace after a few weeks of not having a lot of pace. Thoroughly enjoyed that TCR battle, especially at the start with the 4 cars, Chris Shaw, Tom Stanley, Roger Morton and Scott Malcolm. I thought that was really good. And interesting to hear, you know, Scott saying he thinks he's found something. So, you know, we'll wait and see at Sebring if that pace continues. And also Roger saying that, you know, he managed to get some practice in for once. And look what it did to his speed. So it'll be interesting, you know, if Roger gets some practice in for Sebring to see whether, you know, he can get up there. So, yeah, on the whole, you know, another fantastic race. 8 weeks down, 4 to go. So everything is shaping up really well. Coming up for you in the next week on BSTV. Friday, we are back with the iRacing official V8 Supercar Series and the European Friday night strength of field race from the wonderful Barber. I'm sure Pete will be getting all wet thinking about that one because he loves Barber.
Terribly excited.
On Saturday, we have got a Racetech V8 ESC from Le Mans. So that's bound to be a super duper interesting race. And then next Wednesday, we're back with this series, as we said, from Sebring. So I would like to thank all the drivers that make this league so fantastic. Everybody that joined in on the chat, we always appreciate that. Make sure you drop the video a like. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure you follow us on Facebook, and then you will never miss one of our broadcasts. I'd also like to thank Sam, Bill, Ryan for joining me in the booth, and also Pete for being the butt of most of our jokes tonight and taking it on the chin. Or, well, taking it like a man anyway, but, you know, at least he's got his anus all to soothe things. So I shall say good night. I shall let the guys say good night, and then we'll close the broadcast. So good night, everybody.
Yep, good night, all.
Oh, sorry, Ryan, go ahead.
No, you go first.
All right. Say goodnight to everybody. Thanks for the drivers that showed up. They had a heck of a nice race. Really turned out to be a great league. I'm absolutely thrilled and honored to be part of it. So hats off to all of them. Thanks to the people on the chat. And it shows you, really how popular it is. Look at all the interviews we had tonight. That's unheard of. That's just amazing that you get 7th, 8th, and 9th place finishers wanting to talk to you. I think that's amazing. So really great. So everybody have a nice evening. If you want to see some really neat V8 supercar races, come see us on Friday night and Saturday. It's going to be barn burners at both places. So good night, everybody, and thanks a lot.
Yep, good night all, and thanks for tuning in.
Mr. Renzo, do you want to say goodbye?
Yeah, go on then. Thanks for watching, everybody. You probably got to see all the bad sides of me racing tonight, but Friday will be a different class. So V8s all the way.
Thank you, Princess. And thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. You will be notified for the next broadcast. And we'll see you on Friday for the V8 Supercar.